Everybody have a nice 4th? Hello? Everybody have a nice 4th? Cool. Was it cool? It's kind of warm. Hi, YouTube. Everybody out there? Yes, we're the strangest church in the universe. So we're the only ones that start the services with Doobie Brothers. So it's great. It's great.
We're 100 views from 5,000 views on YouTube.
Yay! Cool. All over the world. Just freaks me out anytime I think about it. Okay. Hand-to-hand combat made it necessary for the ancient Greek soldiers to devise some kind of protection for their forearms, or brachium. Heavy leather bands were therefore created for this purpose, edge here, because they get packed all the time. Ordinary fighting men wore plain bands, but the armband of the officers were decorated with precious metals. The Romans adopted the Greek armbands and later passed the idea on to the Frankish warriors from the north. In their speech, it was called bracelet and became standard piece of military gear. A woman who wore an ornament about her wrist was said to wear a bracelet. Like little bracelet. The invention of gunpowder made the armband obsolete, needless to say. Yeah, it doesn't work too well. So its memory is preserved only in the decorative bracelet, its name. I bet you didn't know that, huh? Ice cream! Guess when that was invented?
1920. 1910.
2nd century BC.
Oh, no.
Alexander the Great enjoyed snow and ice flavored with honey and nectar. How about that? Huh. Good try, Jan. I do appreciate it. At least you tried. All right, things that make you go, When we ask advice, we're usually looking for an accomplice.
Yes, that's
The opposite of talking is not listening. The opposite of talking is waiting. So long as men praise you, you can only be sure that you are not yet on your own true path, but on someone else's. Yeah. So long as men or women praise you, you can only be sure that you are not on your own true path, but on someone else's. It's Nietzsche. So, I mean, you got to think about it a little bit. So, okay, we do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon.
Yay, George and John.
And John said, "Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see." And George, the Golden Gate Bridge should have a long bungee cord for people who aren't quite sure they're ready to commit suicide, but they want to get in a little practice.
That's George.
Okay, George. When my grandson Billy and I entered our vacation cabin, we kept the lights off until we got inside to keep from attracting pesky insects. If you've ever lived in the South or back East, that's kind of common practice. It's also common practice if you get up in the middle of the night to turn the lights on. Otherwise, you might step on something you don't want to step on. So, if you've lived in the South, you understand what I'm saying.
Don't leave your clothes on the floor.
Yeah, you never leave your clothes on the floor. Okay. So anyway, still a few fireflies followed us in. Noticing them before I did, Billy whispered, "It's no use, Grandpa. Now the mosquitoes are coming after us with flashlights." When my grandson asked me how old I was, I teasingly replied, "I'm not sure." "Look in your underwear, Grandpa," he advised. "Mine says I'm 4 to 6. All right. Where is this? Oh, there we go. Phone rings. Father O'Malley answers the phone. "Hello, is this Father O'Malley?" "It is. This is the IRS. Can you help us?" "I can. Do you know a Ted Houlihan?" "I do. He is a member of our congregation." "He is? Did he donate $10,000 to your church?" "He will." Alright. One day, is there anything going on? Any announcements or? Okay.
I'll have a calendar too.
Come on. We're pairing up again.
And we have food afterwards.
Yes, we have a potluck afterwards. Even if you didn't bring anything, there's going to be plenty of food. So please
yeah.
stay, help us eat it up. It's
And if we don't, we'll just send you to McDonald's and you can come back with
Go get some chicken or something. Okay, a couple things I'm going to do really quick and get out of the way so she can go over the calendar. One of them is for Daryl. He's going to do another drum making class on July 12th from 1 to 5. The cost is $80. This does not go to him at all. It's only for the material and supplies that are needed to make the drum. He does this completely, on his own time and for free, and it's amazing what you guys can create with these drums. So if you've always wanted to make one, now's your chance. I'm going to send that sign-up sheet around. Also, the Aura readings, I'm trying to gather enough names so that I can do another full day. I've got about halfway there, so I'm going to send that around as well. I don't know if any of the ones that I've done readings for are willing to testify as to how it might have changed, for them or helped them through some certain things in their life. But this is a really, really huge tool for showing you where you're at with your auras. Yes,
I can
Nancy?
say something.
Well, most of you know my story, May's story. May obviously had a heart attack, a major heart attack, the 3rd of January. Recently, the last week of May, she went to see her sister in New Jersey and had another heart attack. Though it was not a major one, it was a very minor one and did very, very little damage. So it's expected that there's going to be no repercussions from that. Well, to make a long story short, during our expo, I went to the lady that did auras at our expo, and my auras were all indigo at that time. And since that time, I had one done with Valerie, and now they're more of the orangey greenish color. So just because circumstances changed, my whole auras have changed. So it's kind of a good thing just to see how you change, and you can relate on how your auras are changing at the same time that you are, whether your emotions have changed or whatever the case may be. So it's really, if you haven't had one done, do it. And then a few weeks later or a couple months later, if something has changed in your life, have it done again and see what the difference is. It's interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, and it does go into huge detail. I can look at your chakras, and I can see what's going on with your chakra energies, and I can see if there's any kind of ailments or things that are going on in your body by this, and I can read it quite a lot.
I wanted to see if my aura was different with my hair up or my hair down. Because I definitely think differently. I've been aware of when it's up and when it's down. So I did. And guess what? They were different. It was interesting that with my hair up, it was clearer. I was more grounded. Then when I had my hair down, it was fuzzier, a little different colors, still the greens and the yellows and that. But I wanted to see it. Now I know.
Okay, so that sign-up sheet's going around as well. So just make sure when it gets down to the back of the room that you bring it back up here to the front for it to start back over again. Thank you.
Yeah, Ron and I had our full auras done with Valerie. We took advantage of her special when she had that here at the church that one day. And I got a 22-page report, and Ron got a 23-page report. So it's really in-depth. It's amazing. Okay, so every Wednesday we have interchange with Sandra and William. Starting this week. And the cost is just a love donation. If you want more information on interchange, Sandra will be happy to talk to you about that. On Tuesday the 7th, we have Intuitive Development. That's a $10 class. Well worth coming, if nothing else for the fellowship. It's fun. ARE meets here every Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. Josie'd be glad to tell you what ARE is. We have the Dream Quest class meeting on the 11th, and they're going to have a fall class, so kind of watch for information on that. On Sunday the 12th, we're going to have oneness blessings before service and after service. And Josie is going to do the presentation on the Sunday the 12th. Is that correct? Okay. Do you have a topic?
No.
Okay. It'll be a surprise to Josie.
That's 9:15 for the early before service.
Oh, yeah, 9:15 for the before service oneness blessing. Oh, and also the drum making class from 1 to 5. On the 16th, we've got intuitive development again with Janice. On the 18th, I'm doing another make and take essential oil rollerball class. So, and I have lots of recipes for you to make. The cost on that is $20. On the 21st is drum circle. And Christopher will be speaking with us on the 26th. And I think that's pretty much it.
There's eggs in the back, I think.
There were eggs in the back. They might be gone now.
Thank you. Did anybody look at the calendar? There's just a ton of stuff going on. Isn't that wonderful?
More in August.
More in August? Wow. Cool. I did this a few years ago, but you know what? I'm going to do it again. One day, an old German shepherd starts chasing rabbits, and before long discovers that he's lost. Wandering about, he notices a panther heading rapidly in his direction with the intention of having lunch. The old German shepherd thinks, I'm in deep now. Noticing some bones on the ground nearby, he immediately settles down to chew on the bones with his back to the approaching cat. Just as the panther is about to leap, the old German shepherd exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious panther. I wonder if there are any more around here." Hearing this, the young panther halts his attack in mid-strike. A look of terror comes over him, and he slinks away into the trees. "Phew," says the panther, "that was close. That old German shepherd nearly had me." Meanwhile, a squirrel who had been watching the whole scene from a nearby tree figures he can put this knowledge to good use and trade it for protection from the panther. So, off he goes. The squirrel soon catches up with the panther, spills the beans, and strikes a deal for himself and the panther. The young panther is furious at being made a fool of and says, Here, squirrel, hop on my back and see what's going to happen to this conniving canine." Now the old German shepherd sees the panther coming with a squirrel on his back and thinks, "What am I going to do now?" But instead of running, the dog sits down with his back to his attackers, pretending he hasn't seen them yet. And just when they get close enough to hear, the old German shepherd says, "Where's that squirrel? I sent him off an hour ago to bring me another panther." Moral of the story is don't mess with old dogs. Age and skill will always overcome youth and treachery. BS and brilliance only comes with age and experience. There is some truth to that. And we're going to sing a song that I don't remember, and I don't remember when the last time was we sang it. Not even positive we've done it before. It's one of those ones that I don't seem to remember. But I'll probably turn it on and you'll all recognize it, and me too. But
Am I the only one that got tears with that one?
No.
Oh, man. Sometimes Bill can really just pick it, can't he?
Yeah.
He knows right what to do. I'm leaving this up for a minute because we have stuff. It's Healing Sunday. Boy, howdy. I don't know. Oh, jeez. Laugh and then cry and then laugh some more, cry some more. It's a crazy place. What? No, amen? I have a process for us to do today. You do not have to take notes, have handouts. So you do not need to take notes. I'll walk you through whatever process we're gonna do, and then I'll give you the handout. Because if I give you the handout, now you're gone. So let's just make it easy on me.
Classify that as a squirrel alert.
Squirrels, yes. This is the church of the ADD squirrels. Sorry, I just all choked up for that. Last song. Okay, the process I want to share with you today comes from a little book called The Power of Focusing by Ann Weiser Cornell, PhD. Tiny little book. I looked through my library at home, looked through my library here at church. Can't find my physical copy, so I'm going to have to buy another one. It's one of those that I want to keep. But the process is profound. And when I first did this process years ago, I didn't realize how much judgment I was in. Because this process brought me into a place of sensing into your body. We're going to do that here in a minute. And when I sensed into my body, fix it. Why are you hurting? What's wrong with you? Stop that. I wanted it to be gone, and I wanted it to be fixed, and I wanted it to be healed, and I wanted it to be just not around. And this process asks us to bring awareness and compassion because the body's trying to talk to us. If we have a pain, if we have a discomfort, if we have an illness, the body may be using that to communicate to us. And I don't know about you, but when I'm judged, I kind of shut down and don't talk. How many people went to a family gathering yesterday? Anybody experienced that feeling of judgment and you didn't really want to tell them anything more about yourself than, oh, I'm just fine. Yeah. We do this, we do the same thing to ourselves. We are in such judgment of ourselves. And there's time for discernment. Oh, Janice, you might want to make a different choice about stuff like that. You keep making the same choice over and over again and it's not serving you anymore. You might want to change your mind about that. But that's discernment. That's not judgment. Judgment is, you stupid shit. Sorry. She's never heard that before. So this judgment, it's important to get out of judgment. And judgment is a natural response to life. So we don't want to be in judgment about being in judgment. Cut yourself some slack about that. Okay? So here's the deal. Excuse me. Here's the deal. I get all choked up about that. Judgment happens because we have this beautiful mechanism called the mind. And our mind is programmed to process data. Your mind is Google. I know. Scary thought. Now, some people are really good at Google. They can just Google anything. Like Phil, if I need something, I'll ask Phil to Google it. Because if I Google it, I say, Phil, I'm frustrated. I can't find it. He'll come and go, how did you get there? Same thing happens with brains. How did you, well, I looked at this and then I kind of looked at that and I looked at this other thing and next thing you know, I'm somewhere and that's not serving me at all. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how to get back. That's what the brain does. Now, the brain is wonderful if you put it on a task and you give it information or you ask it to seek information. Then it goes, oh boy, I did a task. Blah, just and it'll work for you. That's what the brain does. But if you ask it to make a life decision for you, it will spend all its time judging and valuing pros and cons and won't really tell you what your heart wants to do. It'll tell you about all the things you might want to be afraid of. But it won't tell you what your heart wants to do. Because if you find out what your heart wants to do, fear is not even an issue anymore. Then there's your guts. You got guts, right? Everybody's got guts. Well, we got guts that process food, and we got guts that process information. Visceral information. You ever had a gut feeling? not followed it. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. But the guts can also get spun up about that person hurt my feelings. Because they bring judgment about what happened. We don't know what they were thinking. You know, maybe they were off Googling something. I don't know. But we get all caught up and they did this and that hurts my feelings and this person did that and I'm upset about that and don't even start on political parties, all that stuff. So we can get all knotted up about that. Guts ever get knotted up about stuff? Yup. The heart, on the other hand, has the capacity to bring us into this amazing state of being. Because it allows the guts to be where they are, and it allows the brain to be where it is, but the heart knows the truth. In your heart space is where gratitude resides. In your heart space is where appreciation for beauty resides. In your heart space is where peace resides. We look for peace out here. If those guys would just stop fighting, I'd be at peace. Not how it works. Be at peace in here. Have compassion for the fact that they're fighting, because if there's something you can do about that, if there's some action you can take about that, then you can take it with strength and power. But you're not all spun up about it. The heart holds a place of joy, compassion. This is where that spiritual connection is. This is like a cell phone to God. This is like Google, this is your cell phone to God. You know how some women put their phone in their bra? This is not like that. The only worse than that is money tucked in the bra. Oh. Let somebody try to pay me a bill with that. Oh no, it's on the house. This is your heart phone is right here. You put a question in your brain, and your brain is going to Google that. Look for that. Look for information. You put something in your guts, and it'll process that. Turn that around. Put something in your heart space. Okay, you get a message from Spirit. And message from Spirit could be a song you hear on the radio. It could be a friend picking up the phone and calling you. I was just thinking of you, and we haven't thought about this in a while. Why don't we talk about that? It could be something within about 3 days. Usually, you'll get a response. If we're in our heart space and noticing, we're in our head. That's the sound of spirit communication going on about it. Familiar with that? So this process I want to share with you today happens in the heart space. Separate and apart from judgment. Separate and apart from that spun up gut stuff. And it starts with appreciation. Phil has a picture he's going to throw up on the screen here for us.
Cue Phil.
There we go. Can you scooch that down just a bit? Grab it with your
Thingy.
And pull that down. Can you do that?
Click and drag.
Click and drag, Phil. There we go. There. This is a miniature rose in our yard. Isn't it pretty? The really cool thing about roses is they smell really nice. They have thorns so they can protect themselves. But here's the deal. Bees could find flowers to do the honey thing and the pollen thing, even if they weren't beautiful. They could just be a big red glob. But the universe, God, higher power, spirit, whatever that is for you, allows flowers to be beautiful for no other purpose other than to bless us. And if we can look at a flower and hold appreciation and gratitude for that, you know what happens? Peace. Did you feel a shift and move right smack into that heart space Can you feel peace? This is where peace resides. And this is the doorway to peace. You know, you've heard the good book say, you know, I'll give you the kingdom, keys to the kingdom of heaven. And it was about faith, and the kingdom of heaven resides within you. That's one of the verses. And this is the doorway. This is the key. This is one of the keys. Is appreciation. So when you're in this space of appreciation, I want to walk you through this process. So have you an alley anywhere? Because we're going to look at that. We're going to talk to it and address it. Now let me give you the rundown first. Well, before I do that, let me just throw a couple things at you. Good book says in Proverbs 23, verse 7, "For as a man thinks in his heart, so is he." In your heart. In your heart. We can judge ourselves and never live up to anything. Or we can get in this brain thing of comparing ourselves to someone else, or expectations of, well, they have this and I don't have that, so I'm not good enough. We can get all caught up in that crud. But if we think this appreciation and being in this heart space, it changes and affects this physical realm. Affects who we are in this physical realm. Our awareness does that. Good book. Also in Matthew, remember? The Beatitudes, blessed is this and blessed is that. Here's one. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. You want to really get spiritually connected, get here. Get clear here. Be in this state of appreciation. One last one. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. This is the powerhouse, heart space, powerhouse. Now the brain's a powerhouse, just has a different purpose. The guts are a powerhouse, they just have a different purpose. But to live, to really, really live, get here in heart space. Get here in heart space. So the first thing we're going to do in this heart space process is we're going to sense into our body and see what wants to communicate with us, what wants to have our attention. Now, as you're doing this, I'm going to walk you through the process here in just a second. I want to give you a little bit of groundwork. You're going to ask your body, or this pain, or this discomfort, can I hang out with you for a bit? And what you're going to sense back will probably be an all okay feeling, or a peaceful feeling, more of this feeling, heartbeat. If your brain gets in the way and says, well, I don't know why you're here, blah, blah, just thank your brain for its added value. Your brain starts to judge it and say, well, it shouldn't be here, I shouldn't hurt, that's not how it is, I'm a spiritual person, I shouldn't have a problem. You know, that's your brain talking, let it go. That's your guts talking, comparing you to somebody else, just let that go. And wait for that all okay feeling, that peaceful feeling. So as you're sensing into your body, you're going to sense a discomfort. And your first reaction to that, my first reaction to that is, what the heck are you doing here? You know, get the heck out. I want to be clear. So I'm just going to ask you just be with it. Because you're going to communicate with that discomfort. And so that discomfort has value for you. So we're not going to go in to judge it. We're not going to go in to fix it. But you might come out feeling a little better than when you went in. So, sorry. Take some time to sense into your body. Do you have too much light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it up. Leave it up. You want to leave it up? Yeah. Should we leave it up? Okay. Just dim these. There we go. Perfect. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So take some time to sense into your body. You might even want to say, I'm sensing into my body. The sensing is coming from your heart space. You might ask while you're there, what wants my awareness now? Now you may have 4 or 5 different aches and pains, but let's see who wants to chat with you. What wants my awareness now? And here's the fun part. Take some time just to say hello to that. Hello, Katie. I see you. Say to yourself, I'm saying hello to what's here. You might notice what's the best way to describe that. You might ask if there is an emotional connection, if this is a feeling, if there's a feeling connected to this discomfort. Then you might check back in with your body to see if the description that you have come up with rings true. Perhaps you're feeling dismay, or feeling abandonment, or feeling let down, discouraged. What emotional attachment is that? Check in with your body to see if that description rings true. Again, you'll get that feeling of peace. If it doesn't ring true, then you might be judging that with your own mind. Thank your mind for its assistance. And just go back and sit with that discomfort and asking if it can share with you how to describe that. Now just sit with this with interested curiosity. Like looking at a bug. Oh, look at that. You might say to yourself, I'm sitting with this with interested curiosity. You might notice how it feels from its point of view. I'm asking if it has an emotional quality. Then you might ask it, what gets you feeling that way? What gets you so exhausted? What gets you so discouraged? And fill in that with a descriptive word. Ask it what gets it to feeling that way. You might have a flash of a situation, or an experience that you had that generated that experience, that feeling. Maybe it's a pattern of a similar feeling over and over and over, similar pattern experience, patterned experience. And ask that what it needs. And again, if your mind tries to jump in with some sort of a judgment, thank it for its diligence. And then go back to asking this feeling what it needs from you. That's the body part, what it needs from you. You might want to ask your body to show you what all okay would feel like. You might want to say to yourself, I'm asking my body to show me how all okay would feel. You may experience a lessening of discomfort. Now check in with your body and see if it would be okay to stop connecting with this in a few minutes, in a few moments. You might want to say, I'm checking to see if it's okay to stop soon. If your body needs more attention, you can stay connected. Give it a little more time. And when it's communicated, it's ready to release you, let you go on about your business. You might want to tell this that you'll be back and check in with it again. You'll be back with it again. And say to that body part, I'll be back. Take some time now and thank your body and the parts that have been with you. Take a moment to thank your body and its communication with you. And now allow yourself to return to an awakened state of being, and when you get back and look at the flower again, return to that state of appreciation and heart space. And while you're in that state of being, which you just process for a minute, when we ask, what might you need to tell me, that sort of thing, that's really powerful and the body can respond. When we ask why are you hurting? That slips us into that judgment, slips us into that Google mind, rather than really just being there with it. So the questions that are written out the way they are is the way that Dr. Cornell has suggested to keep us in this heart space state of mind. The heart space state of mind is kind of my twist on it, but this keeps us in that state of being. This pain or discomfort reflects the body request for applied awareness. In order to spiritually move through a situation, we acknowledge, apply deep compassion, and allow. Powerful stuff. Hard to do. This is really hard to do. Let me read to you a session that I did with this. I took notes on it because sometimes for me, taking notes about a process helps me lock it in better. So I had a pain that didn't seem to want to go away with the normal treatment. I looked into my body, sensed into my body, and stated I'm sensing into my body. That created an environment of safety for my body to respond. It was not commanded to step up and declare itself. I just went in to be with my body. The pain responded with a feeling more than words. I got a sense of being let down. I said hello to the feeling of being let down. I allowed it to feel what it was feeling. I wanted to fix it. I asked if the feeling of being let down rang true with my body. I got a response back that felt like peace. That's that all okay sense. If I've perceived the feeling incorrectly, the pain or discomfort will increase. It's a feedback loop. So if the pain increases, then you've guessed wrong, or your head's kind of getting in the way. So if the pain stays neutral and you get an okay feeling about what you're sensing, then you're probably right on. I asked if I could just be with that feeling of being let down for a while. And then I got a peaceful feeling. I can tell you that I've done this repeatedly, and there was a couple of times where it didn't want me to be there. It was, I'm not ready to talk. So it didn't. But it's important to respect and honor that. And then I could go back in later and get some profound experiences. And sometimes when I did that, part of it was pouty, and sometimes there was something else that needed my attention first. And when I cleared that, the other one cleared itself. So sometimes what we think is the most important thing isn't what the body is trying to communicate with us. So just trust the process. I say that all the time. Trust the process. And I tell you all the time because it's really hard for me to trust the process. So if I tell you often enough, I might start to hear it. So I sit with interested curiosity. Sitting with interested curiosity is something I'm not used to. I'm a take care of it kind of person. And doing nothing but observing was a challenge. I was just kind of with the feeling of being let down. I have to admit, it was weird. I don't know if your experience today was weird or not. I asked it what it got feeling so let down. I flashed on a situation when I did what somebody else wanted me to do rather than what I wanted to do. I asked what the pain or my body needed from me right now. Again, I flashed on the situation it showed me earlier, only this time I sensed myself doing the same thing. But this time, taking time to talk with my body, telling it it would be okay, and assuring it I was going to make a good choice. My body was concerned that I hadn't taken its needs into consideration, which I absolutely had not done. Because I was acting on people-pleasing rather than doing what my body wanted to do. So there are times when it's important to just do the next right thing, and helping other people is a really good thing, but not at the expense of our own physical form. That was a lesson I learned with this. So I asked what it would feel like for everything to be okay. The pain went away. I asked if I could stop sensing into my body in a moment or two and got that peaceful feeling again. I thanked my body for sharing with me its insights, and I told it that I would come back again soon. I got a very peaceful feeling, and I took a deep breath and came back into the room. I felt good, relaxed, at peace, validated, elated that my body actually communicated with me. Who knew? And pleased that I could actually get out of the way, out of my head, and really get into being aware of my senses. I sincerely hope you try this activity. It's powerful. Do you not think? Now, who would like to share their experience of that? One already? That was the fastest hand up I ever saw.
Because that was amazing. This has happened to me before coming here, Janice, where I'm listening to something on my way here. I was listening to Abraham Hicks on my way here. She was saying the same thing.
Oh, no way. How funny
I
was
kid
that?
you not, the same thing. So,
I'm sure it's just an accident.
yeah. So, yeah, that was, so my question for myself over the last few days has been to understand where the fatigue comes from. Doing so many things to try to alleviate that for myself, and
Trying to fix it, are we?
yeah, having a lot of judgment as to, why do I feel this way when I shouldn't, because I'm doing all these things to not feel that way. And the resistance was what really came up, was that there's a resistance that's making it worse. And that there's like an energy in my throat chakra, because I have a lot to say, and there was something that happened, maybe in a past life or something, that has the energy still there, that's blocking me from being able to say what I want to say, and it's making me tired.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I didn't really get an answer as far as like what to do other than breathing is kind of what I felt, like more breathing. So that's what I got, but yeah, I'm just amazed because it's like the exact same information as I was driving here in the car listening
That's
to
weird.
what you were talking about. So
Well, and what's wonderful is now you know that fatigue holds you back because it's a safety mechanism. And you can allow that and be grateful for it until you have the opportunity to clear whatever this is. And then when you're physically ready to move forward, spiritually ready to move forward, you'll be physically ready to move forward. And the fatigue will vanish. Powerful, powerful information. Way cool. Thank you for sharing.
thank you.
And how fun. It's just really, I love this. Don't you just love this stuff?
Well, mine totally surprised me because it wasn't where I thought it was going to be, which I usually have a lot of lower back, pain and issues, which is constant. I got this sharp pain right above my right eye, went right to my sinuses, and it was all about the flow. I'm not allowing things to flow naturally. And so I've got this big, huge, blockage, like, in that area. I'm assuming that also means my intuition, my discernment centers, and things like that, because it was right above the right eye.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. It was telling me that I need to just sit back, have patience, let things flow naturally, and things will open up.
That's what it needed from you, is for you
Absolutely.
to sit back and allow.
Yep.
Dang, that
I
allow
know,
word.
don't you just love
It's
it?
right along with patience.
And I had.
Did it give you an all okay feeling?
Yes, as soon as I did that, the sinuses felt like they just completely opened up, which they haven't been like that for years.
Wonderful.
The pain right above the eye went away. As we were kind of going through the process, it pinged me again. It was like, no, you're not ready yet. Let it flow. So I relaxed into it again and just let it
Wonderful.
flow. So
Wonderful.
it's
I
like-
forgot to ask you, Crystal, did the discomfort in your throat clear to some extent, or?
It actually, I felt like a heaviness right here.
So it just made it really clear for you.
Yeah.
Now you can deal with that. After service, we can work on it. Anybody else have a comment? Okay, across the aisle. Kelly over there.
I've been having stomach issues, partly because of my medication and partly because of the RA. And so when I asked my body, it just gave me resignation. Just accept it and stop trying to push myself to be what I'm not. That, I just have to accept that sometimes I can't do what I want to do. So
And it's that back to allow. It's not, we judge that stuff. We're so harsh on ourselves. I shouldn't be this way. I should be different. Whatever, So,
and then the pain went away. So.
way cool. So when the pain comes up again, you now have another tool in your toolbox that can assist you. How awesome is that? That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else? Anybody else want to move it forward? Pass it forward? Mark it.
Mine has been a long resentment that came forward that I spend a lot of energy pushing away. So when it came into my heart space, there was a lot of resistance wanting to push it away with my head. And I got a really sharp pain on the right side of my head. And what happened was a shifting, because that I felt judged. I was judging what I was feeling resentful about, those people. And so what shifted in was the main issue. That other issue went away. So I got clarity on what I need to really put in my heart space to clear this up. Immediately when that happened, the sharp pain went away, and there was a lot of peace and love and compassion. And so I still have a journey to go with that, but to feel that compassion was really, really powerful.
Huge, powerful. Because sometimes we can't get there from here. And now that you've had a taste of it, it's here. You have access to that. But sometimes life circumstances are so painful that the resentment and stuff protects us so that we can be safe from that. Because feeling compassion takes a lot of spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. But there's this disconnect because sometimes we feel like if I have compassion, that I'm discounting the trauma. And with this process, now you can honor the fact that, that was a trauma. I was traumatized by this experience. It was real. And I can allow them to be where they are and do what they do. And I can love myself. And I can be in this place of peace. Powerful. So thank you very much for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
Anyone else want to share their experience? Thank you. Mr. Phil, would you join me up front, please, sir? Phil teaches me allow. I think we can pray while she's doing it. Join us in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we partake of this, help us to receive that refreshing energy of knowing that we are nourished by love. Help us to walk in love. Help us to be love. Help us to return to love. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it, and drink it in with its joyful, peace-filled heart. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Oh, sorry.
Shannon?
That's the second week in a row, that's fucking called.
Was it? I don't pay any attention.
Stay put.
That's why I have to write down. I have to write down all the music that I play, and when I do it, otherwise it's like, oh, I haven't played that in a while. Oh, that was just last week. That's right, because you said something about the Mary Greenwood.
Yes.
I remember.
The Renaissance
Well,
Fair.
let somebody else do that.
I talked all weekend, I'll talk all for the next 3 days straight. Anyway, I want to say this place has been an amazing blessing to all of us that have been here. If you've never been here before, you'll feel it just about every corner of this building. And because of the donations that we give here and the classes and everything else, it keeps our love flowing just outside into the community, not just inside this building. So please give what you can and have a blessed day.
Thank you. Well said.
Maybe you can come back.
Hey, I had a long weekend. It was hot.
I know. And we did think about you. We really did.
I was in 3 layers of clothing.
It was very, very hot. The things you do for love, right?
Yes, I do Greenwood out of love. Because when I was 16, I did Greenwood as a performer. I can't perform with them anymore, but I'd love to be able to do it as a vendor. And since I have a business, I continue to do it.
All works.
And we love Marjorie because they wouldn't be there without her.
No, they would not be there without Marjorie. They've tried, it doesn't work.
So do we have any gratitudes or? Want to remind you that gratitude is one of the power sources in our headspace. And when we can write down a gratitude and share it with one another, then it uplifts us. And as others are hearing it, it uplifts them and again activates this heart space. So we do all kinds of things here at the Divine Fellowship. Everything happens for a reason. Most everything happens for a reason. And you know, Phil played a song that he couldn't remember playing before. You have songbooks in your pews. There's some amazing songs in there that were chosen specifically because they are so uplifting. I pulled out my hymn book the other day, because, you know, I just like the old church songs. Am I the only one that likes old church songs? I just love hymns. I just love hymns. And was looking for one, He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, shadows of dry, thirsty land. And I was thinking of that song specifically because of this message, because being in this place of peace is like that. You know, we are in that sacred place. And again, peace is being safe amid the chaos, not the absence of chaos. It's being safe within that. And so that song really spoke to my soul. So I love hymns, but we don't do hymns here. And the reason we don't do hymns here, except for, I think Amazing Grace is the only one that's in there. Love Lifted Me? No. There's one more.
Down to the river.
Down to the river to pray. Yeah, we got that one. But most of them are conventional, contemporary songs that are motivating. But the reason we don't do hymns is because some people who attend the Divine Fellowship have had such heartbreak as a result of being in church that it's almost like post-traumatic stress. So we don't do that because we don't want to trigger that post-traumatic stress or that trauma, re-energize that. We want you to feel safe here, to be able to have this uplifting experience and this joyful expression through song without having to have a little trigger until you have a chance to clear that for yourself. So you might want to look through the songbook at some point and see if there's a song you would like to hear, and Phil would be happy to play it for you.